The men of Earth came to Mars, Ray Bradbury wrote, because they were afraid or unafraid, because they were happy or unhappy, because they felt like pilgrims or did not feel like pilgrims. There was a reason for each man. You could say the same of the humans on the moon in the first 2 seasons of For All Mankind, Apple TV+'s meticulously realized, largely satisfying alternate history space drama. Each has their reason for stepping onto the cold lunar surface. Or, in this season, the equally inhospitable Red Planet. Over 20 episodes streamed in 2019 and 21, the series excelled when messy human motivations ran up against the life-or-death exigencies of surviving in space. Heartbroken Edward Baldwin, Joel Kinnaman, captained the first nuclear-powered space shuttle in a game of chicken with the Soviets in orbit around the moon. Even as his marriage was imploding on Earth. Ex-spouses Gordo, Michael Dorman, and Tracy, Sarah Jones, who were awkwardly reunited on the lunar base Jamestown. Save the joint, I mean the entire moon, from nuclear meltdown by a suicide mission on the surface, their spacesuits jerry-rigged from duct tape and crazy determination. Ellen Wilson, Jodie Balfour, goes to superhuman lengths to save her mission in Season 1 but works even harder to hide her sexuality. These aren't cardboard cosmic heroes, they're flawed men and women dying inside, and outside, but doing what has to be done. In For All Mankind, every astronaut, NASA administrator, family member, or lover has their private reason for risking their lives or standing by while a loved one risks theirs. Jimmy, David Chandler, Gordo, and Tracy's emotionally fragile son, grabs the mic at his brother Danny's wedding in space to deliver a bitter tribute to his romanticized parents. Now they're lovers on the lunar surface, Jimmy says with a sneer. That's what NASA does. It twists things into how we want to see them. They died for the country, they died for the space program, they died for each other, but the truth is, they just died. Go ahead and say it's for science, or progress, but reality lies. Like the title of the Season 2 finale, In the Gray. Speaking of gray, everyone's a decade older as Season 3 begins with the NASA reunion becomes a disaster movie thriller Polaris. Ed falls and fractures an ankle trying to hustle out of a space hotel room during an emergency. Margot, Ren Schmidt, has to squeeze extra hard to get into her control pantyhose in the morning. Makeup crew even add lines to Chris Marshall to show how time is wearing on Danielle Poole. The year is circa 1992, Gary Hart is president, and the next destination is Mars. For All Mankind has always been a workplace drama that turns on a dime into a horror movie, what you get when you ride giant fuel bombs into a radioactive void. In Season 1, it's Mad Men in Space phase, the Apollo 23 launch pad explosion incinerated Gene Kranz and several others, and the Apollos 24 and 25 malfunction killed Harrison Liu and Deke Slayton. In the 1980s set Season 2, there were Soviets and gunplay on the moon, and the body count rose accordingly. And not just in space. NASA Administrator Thomas Paine also got obliterated in the real-life KAL-007 airplane disaster. Now space is being commercialized and civilians are at risk. China and Korea have launched their own rockets. An Elon Musk-like billionaire named Dev Issa, Edi Gathaji, is mining helium-3 on the moon as a source of clean energy. NASA announces plans to put an American on Mars by 1996. The Soviets counter with their own Mars mission. And so we're back to Season 1's audacious premise, the Soviets beating Americans to the moon in 1969. That national humiliation drove the space race faster and longer, while at the same time prevented the USSR from falling apart. Incredibly, Margot is still carrying on an extremely ill-advised affair with her Soviet counterpart, Sergei Nikolov, Pyotr Adamchik. They've been passing technical secrets for a decade to help advance each other's space programs. I'm not sure I'm ready to see Margot let her hair down. It's actually pretty short now, behind closed doors with the